What's good? What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk. Colossal Boxing Talk is associated with Three Kings Boxing under the movement umbrella. And I am back with another stream. Before I get into it, I'm gonna let a few people come in and join me. You already know what I'm about to talk about based off the title. Some heavyweight talk, man. Heavyweight talk. HBO had a solid card last night. Wasn't anything too exciting, but it was a good card. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you can get boxing on, that's a plus. But I'm here to talk about Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Been a lot of talk about this guy. He's from Brooklyn, New York. Uh, he's getting a lot of push from Eddie Hearn. So I'm gonna discuss him. I wasn't impressed with him. I haven't been impressed with him at all. You know what I'm saying? And just I don't know, man. That's my take. But if y'all disagree with me, of course, drop your comment right there, and we'll chop it up. I'll be on here 15, 20 minutes, maybe more. But I just wanted to fucking talk about Jarrell Miller. I'm not here to clown him. I'm just here to talk the truth, and nothing but the truth. And last night he won a unanimous decision over Johan Duhafis or Dupa, however you want to pronounce his name. The same guy that won 11 rounds with a WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder a couple years ago. Uh, I'll say this. I'll start with the pros that I see from Jarrell Miller. He has good hand speed. He appears to have good stamina for a guy that size. He was still letting his hands go. He was effective, and he does have of a lot of variety on the offensive side of his game. He throws right and left uppercuts. He throws right hands, left hooks. He works the body. He's supremely confident, and he knows how to throw that weight around. I'll give him that. He knows how to throw that weight around, which is a lot of weight. And for him to be 300 plus pounds, he's not sloppy with it. So that tells me that he does take, excuse me, training camp serious. Could he stand to lose some more weight? Of course, but it's working for him. It's been working for him for the longest. But I don't see all the fuss surrounding him. I don't think he's next real deal American contender. He's a contender based off just because American heavyweights are scarce right at the moment. Besides him, Deontay Wilder and Dominic Brazil, who else is there? You know what I'm saying? That's a credible American, heavyweight contender or heavyweight prospect that's on the rise. If y'all know, please let me know right now, so I can go check them out and watch some of that film. But he's what 6'3", 6'4". He doesn't really have any good foot movement. The ring generalship is I don't think highly of him as a fighter. That's just me. And if y'all disagree, like I said, let me know. But he did what he had to do last night against Johan Duhafis. He appeared to hurt Duhafis numerous times in that fight, but we all know Duhafis has an excellent chin. He won 11 plus rounds with Deontay Wilder, and we seen what Deontay Wilder has done to his opponents throughout his career in his 40 fights. So you got to say that's not a knock on Miller for not getting a knockout over Duhafis, but he could have made that fight a better showing for him. Not that it was horrible, but it's still, that the guy's tough. And after the fight, he was talking to somebody in his corner and said he was tougher than what I thought. What do you mean he was tougher than what you thought? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Money Man. I don't think he'll beat Joshua. I think Joshua knocks his ass out. Honestly, that reach, the power, the skills that Joshua have, I think that it's gonna be too much for Jarrell Miller. Not saying he can't beat him, but I don't think so. I don't think so. He was getting hit by Duhafis on the inside, and we all know that AJ loves to throw punches on the inside. He works the body well, and he has the mean ass uppercut. So I can see that playing a big role in favor of AJ if they indeed fight next or whenever they do fight. But back to what I was saying about Miller underestimating how tough Duhafis was when he's clearly seen that it took Wilder 11 plus rounds to get him out there, and Wilder has that life ending power. You know what I'm saying? He has the life ending power. Ask Spilka, ask anybody. Luis Ortiz, he was dropped 3 times by Wilder. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't go in there expecting, like, damn, you just going to walk through him. Unless you was expecting that Wilder and all his other tough fights was to kind of slow him down. But throughout history, we've seen guys who are journeymen or, long time contenders, but not quite championship caliber fighters show that grit and have good chins, which is what Duhafis showed last night. He also was able to land some shots. He got a good left hook, Duhafis, and he was landing that on Jarrell Miller, especially when they was on the inside. He was hitting with straight right hands, a couple uppercuts. So he definitely was letting his hands go as well. But it wasn't to the extent of a guy that was really trying to win the fight. Not saying he was coming there to survive. Maybe it was just he couldn't pull the trigger, or Jarrell Miller was too much. But he didn't let his hands go a whole lot, even though it was a good fight. How do I see Jarrell Miller stacking up against the rest of the heavyweight division? I don't see him faring too well, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real. I favor Deontay Wilder over him. I favor Anthony Joshua over him. I favor Tyson Fury over him. I favor Alexander Povetkin over him. I favor Luis Ortiz over him. And I favor Joseph Parker over him. So that's 6 guys. That's 6 guys. 6 heavyweight contenders, 2 champions, 6 heavyweight contenders that I favor over him for different reasons. The power, the reach, the athleticism of Wilder, I feel would be too much in the unorthodox style. The reach, the power, the skill set, and experience against big time competition of Joshua would be too much for Jarrell Miller. Tyson Fury, not can box with underrated power. Not saying he doesn't. When I say he doesn't have the power of a Wilder or Joshua, that's just a fact. But he does have power. He's a heavyweight, so he has 20. He has 18 knockouts in 25 fights. You know what I'm saying? So the power is there. It's just not as damn jaw dropping as Wilder or Joshua's. And you got Luis Ortiz, a guy who can punch, has 1 loss, and this loss comes at the hands of Wilder. You know what I'm saying? He's a southpaw, has a good jab, very good foot movement, good foot placement, very accurate, very good offensively, has a good chin. Don't let the knockout in the 3 knockdowns against Wilder make you think otherwise about Luis Ortiz, because a lot of fighters don't withstand the power of Wilder, and we know that. But I don't see Jarrell Miller being able to, out hustle, overwhelm Luis Ortiz. I just don't. The accuracy from Ortiz and the power behind his shots are just, amazing. And then you look at Alexander Povetkin. Povetkin is a former 2004 Olympian or 2000 Olympian, one of the two, who has a very good pedigree. He can box and punch. Just look what he did to David Price. Not to say that that's something to tip his cap on, but he knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? He can box. He outboxed Eddie Chambers way back in the day. Hell, he gave Vladimir Klitschko problems. He was dropped in that fight, but it wasn't a clear-cut coasting type victory that we're accustomed to seeing from Vladimir Klitschko. You know what I'm saying? Alexander Povetkin, for all the BS he done in the last couple of years, he still, against AJ. You know what I'm saying? He was able to be elusive. He was able to, of course, we knew he had the hand speed advantage in that fight. He was able to, avoid the uppercut from Joshua. He made Joshua, fight the type of fight that he didn't want to. The only thing he didn't do to capitalize on that was up his output. You know what I'm saying? He made Joshua fight at a faster pace, but it could have been faster if, Parker was helter-skelter and he was applying more offensive pressure on Joshua. So he learned a lot from that, fight, I'm sure. That's a big fight, his first huge fight, unification bout in the UK. against a guy that was the overwhelmingly favorite, and he performed well. A lot of people say that he didn't come to fight. He came to get a paycheck. He came to survive. I highly disagree with that. He had a game plan, and he executed it almost flawlessly. The only thing he didn't do was let his hands go, and that was his only downfall, in my opinion, from that performance. So those are six guys I just named that I feel can defeat Jarrell Miller very comfortable. Um, yeah, I mean Money Man, you're right. He didn't get tired because the pressure wasn't there, which is some we'll see how he deals with when he faces a Wilder, or if he ever gets in the ring with a Luis Ortiz. Hell, like you said, I'm not saying that Miller can't none of these fighters. You know what I'm saying? I'm just picking out flaws and things that I've seen from watching them. Joshua, uh, definitely has good recuperating skills. We've seen that against Vladimir Klitschko. He's resilient. He's tough. He's determined. So yeah, he has all those qualities that you can check off in the check box. That's why he's a three. That's why he's holding three of the four heavyweight titles. You know what I'm saying? That's not taking nothing away from him. But he hasn't fought every style. He hasn't fought every fighter. Just like Wilder hasn't, just like Fury hasn't, just like Ortiz hasn't, just like Parker hasn't, just like Povetkin hasn't. You know what I'm saying? So all these guys cause different problems for different reasons. But Miller, I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, champion killer. I agree. He is improving. He only 22 fights in, 23 fights in. You know what I'm saying? So he has a high ceiling, to go. But you know, right now he is what he is, like the rest of the fighters are. You know what I'm saying? Him and Wilder and Parker, they got more to improve on. Anybody can improve, but they're younger. Even though Wilder's 32, 33, that's relatively, that's still young for a heavyweight. We all know that heavyweights mature later than fighters in smaller weight classes. But you know what I'm saying? I just don't see where Jarrell Miller really can fit in and say, that's a legitimate victory for him. He's tough. He's offensively minded. He's not good defensively. He doesn't have the ring generalship of some of these other heavyweights. The IQ, it remains to be seen. It's hit and miss, and we'll never know. Like we didn't really truly know until Wilder fought Luis Ortiz what you really have. Just because you can knock a motherfucker out don't mean shit. Can you take those punishing blows back? Can you adjust? Can you go to game plan B, C, D, E, F, G, and so forth and so on? You know what I'm saying? That's what Anthony Joshua showed us. That's what Tyson Fury showed us. That's what Deontay Wilder showed us. And Joseph Parker, he showed us that he can do that. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get better, of course, from this loss to Anthony Joshua, champion killer. Man, this is boxing, and this is heavyweight boxing. So anybody has a chance against anybody because all it takes is one punch and lights out. But we all seen, Brazil fight, and I interviewed Brazil quite a few times. I like him. He's a solid fighter. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming from his football, pedigree, where he was a college quarterback to now taking punishing blows from these guys. You seen him against Anthony Joshua. You seen him against Amir Mansour. You seen him against Eric Molina. You seen him against the other guy, the African guy on the undercard of Deontay Wilder versus Jarrell Miller. So, you know what I'm saying? You seen him. He's a solid fighter, decent power, but I don't think he'll fuck with Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Just like I didn't think he was fucking with Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Wilder, and this is crazy. Money Man, I think it's a different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was mean champion killer. Money Man, I think the power of Joshua is different from Wilder and different from other heavyweights. This is what I say. And if y'all watch this channel, if y'all stay with me and rock with me, y'all, whenever I'm talking about power and all that, this is what y'all gonna hear me say in future videos. There's heavyweight power, and then there's Wilder power. Wilder got that concussive, demoralizing one punch power, fight changing power. He can change it at the snap of a dime. You know what I'm saying? And his power, you can't compare his power with any of the other heavyweights because that is his go-to thing. That is his punch. That is his Thor, hammer. That is his whatever fuck you want to call it. That is what we know Wilder for. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna hit that video, hit that like button, and hit that subscribe button if y'all haven't already, and that post notification bell to get notified when I drop videos or go live. But like I was saying, it's heavyweight power, and then there's Wilder power. You know what I'm saying? What's good, John? Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about Dogbo later. I'm probably do another video. I'm gonna do a video on him. I'm gonna start bringing y'all more breakdown footage and everything. Man, Money Man, we gonna have to if that fight is made, man, we gonna have to really talk about that fight, man. Like I said, we have to talk about that fight because I don't see Miller being that guy that beat Joshua. But like I said, I could be wrong because Miller does have some good qualities, and some important qualities of that a fighter has to have. He seems to have good stamina. As big as he is, he seems to have very good stamina, and can be able to carry that weight along with the activity for 12 rounds. So of course, you know what I'm saying, I give him that, but I just think that Joshua, has that experience. He's been in the ring with Vladimir Klitschko, been in there with Carlos Takam. He's been in there with Joseph Parker. He may be in there with Deontay Wilder next. And shit, it ain't no guarantee he gonna win that fight. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is guaranteed in the heavyweight division. Miller does seem to have a good chin, but again, we don't know how good he truly is and how good his chin truly is until he steps up to a guy that's on his same level or above his level to pull that greatness out of him. And I'm gonna repeat myself. It happened with Wilder. It happened with Joshua. It happened with Fury. It happened with Povetkin. It happened with Parker. It happened with Ortiz, and so forth and so on. Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, all the past great, heavyweights in the past. Joe Frazier, excuse me. So, I mean, it remains to be seen, man. Like I said, I just don't see where Miller fits in from a standpoint of, the top guys I just mentioned. Champion killer, yeah. I mean, Wilder does throw some wild punches. They clip you back in the back of the head, but I mean, the motherfucker can fight. The motherfucker can punch, and it's been working for him. I'm not gonna say all his shots are illegal, but it is what it is. He is who he is at this point in time. I don't think he's gonna ever be able to. I don't think he's gonna ever change that, and we'll just have to see. But like I said, man, the heavyweight division is growing. You still got Daniel DeBose. You still got Joe Joyce. Yeah, I think Money Man. I agree with you on that. I think Wilder's gonna knock out Anthony Joshua. The power is just whoo, and he showed me much more. You know what I'm saying? In his fight with Luis Ortiz, even though he was getting outboxed soundly, he was still able to show, just like he did with Spilka. If y'all remember, he set Spilka up with that fucking counter right hand, and it was beautiful. And Spilka was a southpaw. Luis Ortiz was a southpaw. You know what I'm saying? Shit, champ. I think he way better than Charles Martin. John, I mean, he could be good, but it depends on. It's kind of like you fall into the era where you good. Yeah, Ortiz is better than Parker. Ortiz is probably better than everybody. Like I said, you can put him, Fury, and Povetkin in a hat, check him out or whatever, however you want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Ortiz is the truth. I love Ortiz, man. Me being a big Wilder fan, that was nerve-wracking for me going into that fight. But Wilder pulled it out. But I thought that, and that's when it comes. I'll make another video on Wilder. I don't want to make this about him, man, because it's not about him or Joshua. It's really about Jarrell Miller and how I see him, matching up with those guys. And I don't see him, matching up very well. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? He can prove me wrong. He can prove all his other naysayers wrong. Yeah, I can see that too. Like I said, the power of Joshua. I think Joshua's power early is very, very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But his recuperating skills are scary. You know what I'm saying? Probably, I can see that. Probably, yeah, John. He needs one punch. Money man, I can see that. I'm not so high on White either. That's why I didn't mention him. That's why I think that he's in his feelings that the WBC, um, ordered him versus Luis Ortiz as a final WBC eliminator because he don't want that smoke. So he's probably gonna fight Kubrat Pulev for the IBF title eliminator instead and try to take his chance against Anthony Joshua in a rematch. But the heavyweight division is on fire. All these good guys are big, strong, and bring different things to the table. I can't wait to see how these fights play out in the future. Hopefully, we get Wilder Joshua this year. Negotiations are currently going on, as you all know. So we're gonna see, man. But I think that I like to see Miller finally get a shot, man. If Joshua and Wilder can't come to an agreement, I like to see him get a shot. Um, yeah, Money Man, you right about that because we all know Luis Ortiz signed with um, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Promotions a few years ago. He was the WBA mandatory and that shit. You see, he ain't fought Anthony Joshua yet. Wonder Rock. Hmm. Politics, man. Politics as usual. I'm not saying that Anthony Joshua ducks him because I don't think Anthony Joshua fears no man. I think it's his promoter Eddie Hearn who is kind of vetoing these shits and these fights and kind of making shit happen behind the scenes that we don't know about or he don't think we know about. But we all know that Luis Ortiz was the WBA mandatory. Yes, he did fail a drug test that caused the first cancellation of the fight with Wilder to be, canceled, and that's when the WBA, you know, I guess saved Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, and you know, they removed him from the rankings. I mean, I don't think, like I said, I don't think Joshua's ducking. But I know Eddie Hearn don't want some of these fights. Ain't could you blame him? Can you blame him? He got a young ass 28, 29-year old Anthony Joshua who's already making fucking 10, 20, 30 million. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to fucking ruin that, even though he's gonna always be that cash cow over there in the UK. You see what what the UK fighters, especially the top UK fighters, do over there. They put asses in seats in those stadiums. From Kell Brook, Amir Khan, when Carl Froch was fighting, Joe Calzaghe, Eubank Senior, now Anthony Joshua. I mean, we know the history of it, man. So that'll never stop. But Eddie Hearn wants to get the full maximum potential earning wise for Joshua, and that's why he kind of dragging his feet on these fights with Wilder, and maybe that's why he had something to do with Ortiz being mysteriously taken out of the rankings and not put back once he was cleared of everything. So we'll see how it is, man. But I'm about to wrap this stream up. Like the video. Yeah, one punch is all you need, John. Like this video if y'all haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if y'all haven't already. Turn those post notifications on if y'all haven't already. Um, you know, until next time I'm out. Shout out to the movement. Everybody moving with us. Make sure you check out 3kingsboxing.com daily for your latest and greatest unfiltered, unbiased boxing news reported the way it should be. Hey, until next time I'm out. Peace.